Hello, how are you? Are you a Muslim? Are you having a good day? Good. Are you here as a tourist? Are you on holiday here? Are you?
I know you're Paul, right?
What, sorry?
You're Paul, right?
No, my name's not Paul. Bob.
Bob.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
You're a Christian, right?
I am indeed.
Yeah, and I saw you.
And Mohammed? Abdi. Abdi and?
Yeah, my name is Cal.
Cal.
Yeah.
Are you a Christian?
No, I'm not a Christian, but I saw your channel before. You're a debater, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a Muslim?
I come from a Muslim family.
Practicing or non-practicing?
Irreligious, I'll say.
Okay.
I'd rather say irreligious right now.
Sorry?
I would rather say irreligious.
Irreligious?
Yeah, irreligious.
Okay, what?
I'll come, because I have to go right now. I'll talk to you 5 minutes, that's fine?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5-minute conversation?
Let's do it.
Yeah. So, you're usually a debater. You talk about Christianity, right?
Yes.
And the thing is, I do know a bit about Christianity, not to a high extent, but I know there's a lot of sects in Christianity, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sects in Christianity. There's a lot of sectism with Christianity, like Catholicism.
Sects, yeah.
Yeah. Like Catholicism, Protestant, and evangelical, but that's Protestant, right? Evangelicals are...
Protestant and Catholic are different, but yes.
Yeah, because of school of thought, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you're a Protestant, right?
No, I'm an ecumenical Christian.
Oh, okay.
Just to add to your list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, where's this point going? What is it you're trying to get at?
Well, I just try to understand what's your view based on the fact that this country is not as Christian, because you do talk about you want to convert a lot of people back to Christianity, right? And that's your opinion. That's fine. Like, I respect that. You want this country to be more. You want this country to come back to its traditional root, right?
Yeah.
And this country has become more secularized, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it.
Well, I would say that the UK has gotten worse since we abandoned Christian teaching.
All right.
Since we abandoned Christian teaching, we've participated in a genocide of millions of children.
Okay.
Since we abandoned Christian teaching, we've seen family breakdown. We've seen adultery, we've seen substance abuse, we've seen alcohol abuse. You know, you go out on a Friday night in the UK and you just see absolute chaos on the streets of the UK. And this is all because we've abandoned the way of Jesus. We've all abandoned the path of Christ. And what we need, and that's because every man has become their own shepherd, every man has gone their own way and they've abandoned the Lord. What we need is a shepherd, what we need is a direction. And Christianity is both the historical tradition of our country, but it is also, I would argue, objectively better than any alternative. So better than Islam, better than ethno-nationalism, better than communism, better than fascism. You know, it is the best way of organizing your society, of living your life.
Can you explain why Christianity is declining? Because if you go to churches, right?
Yeah.
Everyone are basically living in churches. None of them are basically learning their traditional root. So if Christianity is so perfect, why is everybody leaving?
Well, the thing is, the reason why there's been a deconversion in the UK is analogous to the deconversion that happened in Turkey, or the deconversion that's happening in Iran, or now in Sudan. You know, I'm sure you know that there's a growing Somali church now. Right? So it's because in our past, there was a civil war between Protestants and Catholics. And that killed millions of people.
Martin King, right? Like Martin Luther?
Martin Luther, yeah. So that civil war created this despair within Europe, in which Europe tried to find a way to replace Christianity. Much like lots of Muslims from Somalia now are abandoning Islam because Islam has brought nothing but destruction to Somalia. Let me finish. You know, or likewise Sudanese Christians, North Sudanese Muslims are now abandoning Islam because Islam's brought nothing but destruction to Sudan, or same in Iran. Is because the scandal of continuous war meant that Europe wanted to find something other than Christianity, and it came up with something called liberalism. And that's emerged in the Enlightenment. And we've on the back ends now of 200 years of Enlightenment, which resulted in the de-Christianization of our society. But I don't know if you're aware of it, but there's what we call now a quiet revival happening in the UK. In other words, that people are coming back to church. Young men are coming back to church in higher numbers. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the whole country is becoming, Christian. there's still 70% of people that just do not care.
I never seen any religion like Christianity where people just leave the religion, because usually if Christianity is so, serious with their teaching, because I can understand that Christianity are quite more open about people doing their things, right?
Yeah.
But because there's a lot of sectism going on in Christianity, so everybody have their own version of ideas, right?
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Yeah, and I feel like in Islam, right? So they're not. Like there is sectism in Islam. Like there is
Shia, Sunni,
exactly,
Ibadi, Salafi.
Yeah.
Ahmadiyya, Sufi.
Basically.
Yeah, there's plenty of sects. And actually, I know you're irreligious, but actually the fact that there's so many sects in Islam is a disproof of Muhammad, because Muhammad is said in the hadiths to actually give a number about how many sects of Islam there would be, and I think it's something like 70 or 77. I can't remember the number. But if you actually count up how many sects of Islam there are, there's over 1,000. There's literally hundreds, but it's certainly more than the number Muhammad gave in the hadiths.
Originally it's supposed to be Sunnism, but then they kind of like wage war.
Well, the Shia would obviously say different. The Shia would say that it's obviously Shiism. So only a Sunni says that it's Sunnism.
Yeah, different caliphate, different ideas basically, and that kind of created a lot of division, basically. But in Islam, there shouldn't even be a sectism, because in Islam it's prohibited.
But there is.
Yeah, there is. Basically.
And the fact that there is disproves Muhammad, because Muhammad said there'd be a certain number, and now there is already more than that number. So Muhammad prophesied falsely.
I feel like every religion genuinely has a lot of sexism.
Yeah.
If you're going to call Islam you're saying it's contradictory, right?
Well, I'm saying that Muhammad is a false prophet because Muhammad made a prophecy that is objectively false. He said that there'd be so many sects within Islam, and it was counted in decades, in tens. But if you actually do religious studies and you study how many sects there are within Islam, it's counted in hundreds, if not 1,000 or more.
So Islam basically has sectism, right?
Just like Christianity.
Just like Christianity.
And that contributes to why people are deconverting. And that's what Jesus said. Jesus actually said that the world will know that the Father has sent me by the way that you love one another. Amen. And the very fact that Christians have failed to love one another is one of the reasons that people give not to believe in Christianity. And it's the thing that causes confusion. So sectarianism is antichrist. It is against the Christian faith.
I actually believe that Islam pretty much shouldn't even be any sectism. There shouldn't be any divisions along with it. But it's all country based on the caliphate, because of like different leaders and different leaders, like how Hamza the caliphate. Sorry, like Ali, right? So Ali basically he had no interest in wanting to be a leader, right? So. For example, Abu Bakr was supposed to be the first caliphate to lead, but then the Shia group basically believed that Ali should, because he had a relationship with Muhammad, right? A relative relationship. So.
Well, this is the Sunni version of Islamic history, but the point is the Shia tell a different story, and they do.
I know.
So, and the point is, this dispute between Shia and Sunni is right at the very beginning of Islam, which demonstrates Muhammad failed to be a good leader. Because any good leader would make it clear about how he's going to be succeeded. Now, when Jesus Christ ascended into heaven, it was very clear to his apostles who was to succeed him, all of them, and they carried on what's called apostolic succession. And the first split amongst Christians actually doesn't occur for religious reasons at all. It occurs for socio-economic and political reasons between the church in the East and the church in the West, right? And then another split occurs later. The first split for doctrinal reasons occurs nearly into the 4th century. Into the 4th century, right? And it's based upon a misunderstanding between two groups.
What's your opinion about the fact that I actually believe that is in your opinion is that you believe that Christianity is the righteous religion? And you're a Protestant, right?
No, I already told you I'm ecumenical.
What is that again? Sorry.
Ecumenical. It means that I don't believe in sects.
Sectism.
I don't believe in sectarianism.
There is I actually forgot, but there is in Islam there is a name where people don't believe there should be any sects. There's a name for it where they call it a non-sect. As you just said, basically there's an Islamic version of that. Some of them don't believe that there shouldn't even be a sect.
I've never heard of that group.
Okay, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So in Islam there are Muslims who believe that there shouldn't even be a sect. None of them believe that we shouldn't have any sect. So they don't identify with any sectism like
Yeah.
Sunnism or Shiism. They rather just say I'm a Muslim.
Yeah.
So of course that Sunni is the most popular sect.
Yeah.
And they all believe in a similar way of Christianity where they believe in the end of time, right? But the Shia basically believe that Ali would do
They believe in the imamate.
the Imam, yeah, basically. And I feel like Shiism and Sunnism have a different interpretation of the
What's your name, brother?
Cal.
Akal.
Yeah.
Akal, the question that is more important
Yeah.
than any sort of discussion around the history of sectarianism is who is Jesus to you? Because let me explain why that question is important. Because it's the kind of question that will change the direction of your life, or change the direction of my life. If I'm not believing in the Jesus of the Gospels, or if those Gospels are not trustworthy or reliable, then I basically am wasting my time. Might as well go and have a nice warm meal in a nice warm pub and do whatever I want. If Christianity is true, if Jesus is who he says he is, then you should become a Christian. And you should join the Somali church, which is a growing church.
I don't believe, well actually I don't believe in Christianity. I genuinely think that Christianity is, I just feel like...
What do you tell me your honest, what do you honestly believe Christianity is?
Well, I actually think that Christianity has some contribution to the European civilization, but I genuinely don't think that it needs to even exist anymore.
Sorry?
I don't think it should exist right now because I feel like everybody should be more individualist, right?
Right.
I don't feel like, I genuinely don't think there's anything wrong with being a Christian, but I feel like we're living in a different era now, where people should be more individualist and more liberalized with whatever they want to believe in, basically. So that's what I believe.
I understand, but I want to point out to you, Carl, that you're leaning on distorted Christian ideas. Individualism emerged because of Christianity. Liberalism emerges because of Christianity. Right? Yeah. These are Christian ideas. Well, they're Christian influenced ideas. I don't go as far as Tom Holland and Glenn Scrivener, who say that they are Christian ideas. I am just saying that they are distortions of Christian ideas. So here's my thing: is that the way that you want to live is based on something Christian, right? Because it really is. It honestly is. Individualism and liberalism are both distortions of the Christian worldview. Individualism comes from two things. It comes from the fact that when Christianity emerged, we told people to leave their tribe and leave their families and join the church. That creates a kind of atomization. I'm conscious. Are you wanting to record or? Yeah. Shall we stand over there so you can get a better volume? Let's.
Peppermint.
No, peppermint. Thank you. Brother, let's go over here.
Just a 3-minute conversation, 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Really quickly.
So hold on one second. So individualism emerges from Christianity because Christianity calls people to leave their families to join the church. That creates an atomization. Secondly, Christianity, through its sacrament of confession, encourages individual responsibility for your own conduct, and that therefore is the creation of the structure of the idea of the individual self. And that emerges in liberalism.
What about Roman Empire? Like, the Greeks in the Roman Empire, I feel like they're the one that popularized individualism. They're the one that give the concept of how people can have democracy. You know how democracy is more of a Roman concept.
But democracy doesn't necessarily create individualism.
But it does give people the right to think who they want to pick as the leaders, right? Like, they decide who want their leader to lead a nation.
The democratia of the Greeks was not like what we think of as democracy. It was only aristocrats. So it was only male aristocrats that could vote, not slaves, not women.
Islam, for example, value democracy.
Sorry?
You believe that Islam, I know that deep down
Islam does not value democracy.
Yeah, I know. It values theocracy, basically.
Yeah.
Theocracy.
And caliphate.
Yeah, caliphate, theocracy.
It's not just that Islam is theocratic.
Yeah.
It is that Islam is intrinsically caliphatic. Right? Christianity can use democratic tools, democratic instruments. But Christianity also believes in a theocracy.
Theocracy. Yeah.
But we're not committed to an idea of a...
Do you want this country to become theocratic?
Christian theocracy,
theocracy. Islam, for example, genuinely prioritize theocracy. However, I genuinely believe that theocracy has no place in any government. It should be more secularized, because everybody, just like how you have the right to express your freedom, and just like how my relatives have the right to express their religious freedom. I feel like secularism is the only way to have a progressive society. Well, but I know that as a Christian, you feel like, because I know that England has an English root and a Christian root. I get that, and it thrives based on that. And I believe that you feel like nobody's becoming religious these days. People are becoming like losing their mind. Like mental health is skyrocketing, and people rather just become individualistic. And you believe that individualism just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, liberal secularism does not work.
Does not work. Yeah.
You look at America or Canada or Britain. Individual liberties are being crushed right now. In Canada, they're just passing a hate speech law that would make saying very normative Christian statements illegal.
Yeah.
Right, they're doing that in Canada. When you go back over to the other side of the pond, have a look into it. In the UK, we're arresting people for thinking inside their own heads. The problem is, if you have a secular state, you don't have a neutral state. The state still has to believe in something. If it doesn't believe in Christianity, it's still got to believe in something else. And when it doesn't believe in Christianity, it believes in its own ideologies, whether that's fascism or Nazism or communism. These are all examples of secular states, or liberal states, or progressive states. But the point is, the moment it has that doctrine, it ends up with its own points of blasphemy. And so within progressive states, the point of blasphemy is when you question individual autonomy, is when you question the idea of individual identity. And so people are being arrested in this country for simply not agreeing that a man can become a woman. Do you think that's fair? Do you think it's fair that people are being arrested because they pray in their own heads against abortion? Because that's happening in the UK.
I believe that everybody has every right to express themselves, just like you, and I believe that. But I feel like it's more difficult because it's just that I feel like it's more of a new concept where everybody are expressing themselves. It's just not easier right now because everybody are so culturally different. Islam, for example, are very conservative, right? Like Islam value conservatism, and it just doesn't really intertwine. Like it does not collaborate well with individualism.
So what I'm saying is that in the UK, the moment you establish individualism as your tenet, your doctrine, at some point you start making it illegal to question that, which is where we've arrived at in the UK, in Canada, in France, in Germany, in the Netherlands, in America, because of Elon Musk and Trump. There's been a pushback to individual liberty. But that is because they're tapping more into classical liberalism than progressive liberalism. My point to you is that you're not abandoning religion. You're just replacing one religion with another.
I'm not really, I know value of priority with Christianity, but I'm more open-minded with other religions. I feel like other religions have every right to express themselves. I'm more of a free-spirited guy. I
understand that.
I like to prioritize as an individualist. I like to learn other religions instead of judging them.
So what do you know of Christianity then? Because you've come to talk to me, you spotted me, you came and wanted to have a chat.
You have a good debate, basically. Your debate skills pretty good. Pretty good. So I kind of understand that Christianity has a lot of sectarism. I feel like you have the right to express your freedom. If you want to express, if you believe that Christianity should come back the way it is, that's your freedom. But I believe that secularism is the best thing for England.
Right, secularism is a distortion of a Christian idea, right? So Christianity is the one that comes up with the idea of the secular state and the religious state. Let me explain. That's a Christian invention. It's like on lots of Christian flags you see a double-headed eagle. That's representing the secular state and the church, right?
Like separation of church and state, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Christians believe that the church institution and the state institution should be separate. And the reason for that is when Paul was going around and the other apostles were going around and establishing churches, they were establishing a form of religious government for a people that was separate from the secular government of Rome. And then these two things grew up together until Christianity, by the Romans, was put on equal par to the Roman state. And the Roman emperor then saw the bishops as being his equals, but in different spheres. So in religious matters, the emperor bowed to the bishops. In secular matters, the bishops bowed to the emperor. But nothing about the Christian worldview believes that the state shouldn't be run by Christians. And so we believe that Christians should fill the state and pass laws according to our own doctrines and our own values. In America, they call it Christian nationalism.
Christian nationalism.
Yeah? Not to be confused with white supremacism or white imperialism.
Because that contradicts the Christian way of...
Yeah, completely contradicts
that.
that.
Jesus, for example, is a Semitic guy, right? He's Semitic and Jewish.
Yeah, exactly.
And
he wasn't white.
Well, yeah, white supremacy, for example, prioritized and valued the Nordic ideology of whiteism, you know? Like,
Well, it's not a Nordic ideology, it's a modern Enlightenment ideology. It came when we moved away from Christianity.
Right.
It came then, when we moved away from Christianity. Are you needing to go? I want to give you a gift, Carl. Go, just a gift to say thank you so much for being so polite and patient and kind.
We could debate again if I see you again.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you my card, and when you're back in the US, let's arrange a Zoom call and we'll talk some more. How about that? Merry Christmas. You have let me give you my card if you want to get in touch. And then we can talk in the future.
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
Nice, mate.
Have a good day. God bless. Right, yes. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Hello.
Have you ever seen people being conversation?
Well, Cal just wanted to come and talk to me because he's seen me on TV, on video, on YouTube. He's one of the many growing non-religious post-Muslim Somalis, and he's not practicing Islam, and he just wanted to know a little bit about Christianity. And so I got to talk to him about Christianity. Brother, are you a Muslim? He is a Muslim, isn't he? Can I ask you a question?